We've stolen Holly for the afternoon to have a chat about her new book, Dancing on Ice, and we're getting the lowdown on her views on today's topic. So, loose ladies, welcome Holly Willoughby.
So nice to be here. I'm actually here. It's real.
Well, no, made you a nice cup of tea.
Thank you.
I'm going to say that really ridiculous thing where, gosh, you look exactly the same as you do on the telly, Holly.
I thought you would have changed your frock.
I know. Do you know what I probably should have done, shouldn't I? I didn't have much time. You were all right?
Yeah, we're good. And we're here, you're here even,
yes,
about this wonderful book, Reflections, which is just, we all picked it up this morning and went, oh, it feels lovely.
Feels nice.
It looks lovely. And it's all about what made you who you are today and like an epiphany you had.
Yeah, a little bit.
When you were presenting I'm a Celeb.
So I think that the book is a real marker in the sand of where I find myself in life right now. And I think up until this point, I've kind of had all these plates spinning. I had children, I got married, I got the house, I was working and sort of building myself in my career. And all of those things are lovely and wonderful. But there's no doubt that when you get to a certain age and you get a little bit more time back because the kids don't sort of rely on you quite as much and you get the spare hour in the day, and especially when I went to Australia and I suddenly had this sort of 2-week period of having no one to look after apart from myself, I sat there with myself and I thought, God, this is really weird. And it really felt like something was missing and it scared me a little bit. And I realised the thing that was missing was me. Like, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I had no idea what I liked because all of my life and all of my energy had gone on all these things around me. So the book really is about trying to find that way back to who you are.
Yeah.
And actually, I've really enjoyed the process of doing that. It's been nice.
So
it's been great.
would you say you were too much of a people pleaser?
Definitely a people pleaser. Still am, have been all my life. But I also think that unless you're being sort of your true self, sometimes because you don't know who you are, you play a role. And I think that we all feel very comfortable in going, oh, right, you're that person who does this, you're that person. And sometimes it's a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. You end up being that person because that's what people are expecting of you.
That's where the expectations come from, isn't it? It's
I think
from other people kind of putting them onto you and then you either buy into that or you don't. I tend not to because I don't care.
But that's so good.
And I don't have kids, so,
But I think that not caring thing, like, obviously we have to be a bit careful, but I think you care less what other people think when you're reporting to yourself.
Exactly.
And actually really, really fulfilling
and
what
when you get
want
older
and
as
what
well.
you like. Yeah, I think so.
It's a good thing.
I love that line, isn't it? Up until 40, you care about what everyone else thinks of you, and after 40, you worry about what you think about other people. And there is that moment where you start to go, actually, I spend an awful lot of time looking after everyone else, and where am I in that?
Yeah.
And I'm a real alternative therapy fan. This lot always laugh at me. And you use something called emotional kinesiology.
Yes.
What's that and what happened?
Kinesiology is like a sort of muscle stress test, if you like. So you've probably had this done before. So normally it's like an allergy thing. So if you're allergic to something, you hold like this little bottle of whatever it is, I don't know, soy or wheat or whatever, and they push on your arm. And if your arm goes down, then that means you might have an intolerance. And this emotion, it's the same, but with kind of emotions. To be honest, with all of these things, I don't know how they work, but it felt good. It definitely released and did something. And from that day, I thought, oh, I felt that. And when I came back to home, I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to try everything because the more of this stuff that I was doing, the more in tune with myself I was becoming. And all it is a way of processing what's going on up here, I guess. And anything that helps with that, I think, is a really good thing.
And did that cause a switch in your relationship with Dan? Because you guys have been together for a while now.
I don't think it caused a switch because whenever you're sort of becoming more of yourself, you're becoming more of what that person truly and actually fell in love with in the first place. What it did do was, because I was knowing what I suddenly was having this sort of influx of emotion, and I realised that I was living in this very detached, middle, safe ground, and all of my thoughts and feelings were safe, so I wasn't going to offend anyone or upset anyone. And as soon as I sort of lit those emotions a little bit and the fire was underneath them, I was really feeling everything for the first time, good and bad. And I was definitely getting quite angry about stuff.
Yeah,
but Dan was
I
like...
love that when that released.
Yeah, and well, at first I was a bit like, oh, I don't know what this is. I don't know, is this okay?
I bet he felt it even
Dan
more.
was like, is this working for you? Because you're meant to be that's it. I'm not sure. Maybe step away from the sound bowls. But actually, I began to really love anger. And I suddenly realised anger was this brilliant tool of getting to the crux of what the problem was. Like, I would sit with my girlfriends and we'd spend all day talking about stuff and I'd be like, and there's my man, and what do you think it is? And blah, blah. And all of that is lovely. But then I'd get angry about something. I'd be like, there it is. That's the reason. Like, what is at the base of that anger? And you have your answer in a nanosecond. And it's like...
We need to give a lot more respect to anger, because it's not always a negative thing, is it? It is an emotion.
When it's not out of control.
Like, it's not out of control.
When it's not out of control, I think that if you look at what's behind anger, and I think anger's like best friend is fear, and if you understand that, then you can learn from it. Like, it's all learning, isn't it? And
but it's
growing.
getting things out as well, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any good to keep things in like that. Not anger, not grief, not anything. And I think if you do, it festers, and then it becomes worse, 10 times worse.
Carol's a great believer in not holding anything
No,
in.
I know.
Doesn't hold anything in.
But Carol, that's a really good skill to have, because I was really good at kind of detaching. So rather than facing everything, I was like, I can cope really, really well. Like, I'm a brilliant coper, and I like that. But at a certain point, it's got to release.
It breaks.
I love your little story. Have we got time for it? And how you coped with not being able to have a rap party on Dancing on Ice.
Oh, what was this?
Did you use your children's speakers?
Yeah, I did.
I love this story.
But I didn't know how to get the gin in without somebody kind of pulling me over. So
How were the beakers?
They were like those sort of those aluminium water bottles. And one said Bell and one said Chester. So I had Bell's one and Phil had Chester's one. And then we were sat there like, oh.
And actually,
From the last ad break
on Sunday, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah, looking
I know.
forward to it.
Yeah, really good. We had our press launch yesterday, so I saw Bez. I mean, look out for Bez.
God, he's so wonderful.
He is so wonderful. He's really, like, he literally throws himself into it. I think he might be one of our first celebrities to do the first show in a crash helmet.
Wow, OK.
Yeah.
Because he's that much of a danger to himself.
Yeah, definitely.
We've been talking about when we first met our other halves, actually. I wanted to talk to you about Dan, because this is lovely. I was just trying to find it. There's a lovely picture in here of the early days of you and Dan first meeting each other. It's towards the back of the book, isn't it?
We were walking through
this one. Hang on, this picture here, if you can see it on camera.
Well, we met on Saturday mornings when we were doing that, and we became, like, really ridiculously close friends. And it was like this intensity of friendship for quite a long, sort of about, I don't know, 10, 15 weeks or something. And then I remember cheersing him with a glass and looking at him, and I was like, oh my God, oh my God, I fancy him. I fancy my friend. And it took me so by surprise. And I thought, oh God, what's just happened? And then the relationship carried on. And I think in hindsight, looking back, I think I was actually falling in love with him. I think that's what that intensity was, but I didn't necessarily recognise it.
That's really that, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah.
It is.
And a lot less debauched than the rest of our stories of how we met.
Ding dong over there. Yeah, definitely
Is
less.
he still your best friend?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, he knows me better than anyone. He's my absolute support. He gives the best advice of anybody. Like, he's just got that strength, you know, like that real strength of character, and he's got a good moral fibre. So I always sort of check and run everything past him.
Good.
Oh, I love that.
It's a good team. Yeah.
And as women who, obviously, you know, we all work a lot, as do you. And I think when you've got another half who's got your back, who is your best mate, that's the only way any of this is possible.
Yes.
But, I could talk to you for ages, Holly. And thank you so much. And I can't wait to check you out on Dancing on Ice on Sunday.